rise for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, roll call, John.
Rod. Here. Nicole.
Here.
Dave. Here. Carolyn.
Here.
Deb.
Here. Anybody have comments? Heidi?
Awesome. We did have it moved the agenda for the turbines, and that's fine. It gives us more opportunity to do research, review. Maybe the board can do some research on ordinances, like how you can protect the residents from property value losses that could happen, especially with the appraisals coming up this year. It'd be nice to know ahead of time. I do see that there was something done in another state, but they are putting an ordinance for the property values and something that can protect the residents. So I just would encourage the board to please do your research. Try to do what you can to protect the residents for the values, for the health setbacks, or anything that I'm sure we'll be discussing in July. And I look forward to an open discussion for both sides. It would be nice to have both sides at the same time. So.
And we do have that set up for July 12th, isn't it?
14th.
And we're going to have the county there also.
Yes.
Okay.
Could you email that ordinance that you found from another state to John?
Sure.
Which one is that, Heidi?
I believe it was from Iowa.
Okay. There was another one that you guys sent me from Colorado.
Probably, yes.
Okay.
And then the Brown County.
Okay.
So then what's the meeting on May 29th? There's a Hub City Wind Farm meeting at Belvedere?
There's an open house.
Oh, it's open house.
Yeah,
Okay.
Alliant is putting that on.
Okay.
So I would encourage everybody to go and ask your questions.
Okay. So that's not connected with the town or any?
No,
Okay,
no,
gotcha.
that's their baby.
Okay.
Lady in the pink in the back, you had your hand up and I don't know who you are.
I just wanted to make a public statement in regards to the, on our agenda for the appointment of our fire chief. Basically what I'm asking, and I want to make a public support for Lori Bauer for our fire department. I've been on the department for a little over a year. For people that don't know me, I'm from Marshfield, volunteer out here. Completed my fire and my EMS for my first responder here to work out here in the township under the fire department. It's been the greatest time frame that I have had. A lot of that has been to the support of not only the fire department, but for Lori and for Adam. You know, and so the big thing that I'm asking is if there's ill will, not ill will, to let us basically appoint who we feel that we need to. I feel publicly that Lori does a great job. It's not a popularity contest next door on who is liked the most. It's a support on who we can trust, and who you guys as a township should be able to trust on the aspect of who's going to train us next door properly and efficiently, who's going to be able to come when you guys pick up that phone, and we're there. So again, it's not a popularity contest of a yes or no person for our chief. It's the aspect of who we feel that we can count on leading us into an emergency situation, so we have that backing and that trust. So I wanted to just make a public support for Lori for our fire department over there again. And again, I ask that if there is any ill will feelings towards Lori as a person, to overlook that aspect and do what's best for the fire department, the fire department members, and most importantly for the township folks. So I appreciate it.
All right, thank you. Anybody else? Yes.
My name is Wendy Rogowski, and I'm here from the town of Green Valley. I just wanted to also encourage your town board and township members to consider adopting the ordinance or an ordinance for your for the wind facility that's coming in. I know that at the March 12th meeting, I kind of heard talk that some people think that in May the lawsuit that is happening over in Marathon for the Marathon wind farm is slated to end in May, but that's not really true. The motions to dismiss are going to be...
They decide, I think, May 16th whether or not they go to trial.
Okay, yeah, it's going to be to be decided by the judge whether the motions will be dismissed. But after that doesn't mean that the lawsuit is going to end.
Right.
One way or another, the lawsuit may continue. If the judge decides to uphold or to go ahead and dismiss the case, then it's going to be up to the wind company to decide whether or not they're going to refile. And then the case would start all over again.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the case is going to continue on the merits of the case based on whether they'll go to trial or not. So the fact that people are waiting to see what's going to happen, this could drag out for a year, or a couple more years. And so I just wanted to encourage you, as a resident from one of the other towns that is involved in this project, it's important to me that we all stand united. I have no ill feelings against any landowner that may have signed into this project. I think that landowners do have the right to do what they want with their property. However, as a resident of a community that a large-scale industrial facility is going to come into, and it's going to affect all of us in all of these towns, I just feel like I have a right to fight against that if that's something that I'm concerned about. And I just wanted to come tonight and encourage you guys to really consider looking at the ordinances and adopting something to protect your
Now, you
residents.
said you're from where, Green Valley?
Green Valley.
Are you on the board?
No, I'm not.
Can you also send your ordinance to John?
I sure can.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Anybody else? Yes.
I just wanted to say, last fall, a friend of mine called me in the middle of the night, needed some help. I had to make a stop over to see him. I called 911. First person to respond, Lori Bauer with Rod. Thank you guys, I'm gonna point that out right now. Not about a popularity contest, not about supporting persons, not persons, whatever like that. I'm just gonna say that everybody knows that when I need to make the call, Rod and Lori showed up, first ones, beat the ambulance. And even though Dave Swenson and I are at different ends of some spectrums at times, the only other time I've ever had to call 911 is when I had a little bit of a grass fire, when I had a fire permit, get out of hand. Dave was the first guy there with the truck, and I appreciate that, Dave. I don't know if I ever said that publicly, but that way I certainly support it. What's that?
Didn't say that publicly.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I just had to say though, I do appreciate our volunteer fire department, and I just want to say especially in recognition of, was it National Fire Department Firefighters Day on last Sunday, May 4th, that I really appreciate the fact that we got these McMillan characters running around here helping save us in case we got troubles, and help keeping our insurance rates low. And thanks to the fire department.
Just to comment, Dave, that was how many years ago?
20 years ago, Dave.
Finally got that, thank you.
I'm just slow to respond at times.
Anybody else? Any other comments? Okay, let's move on. Approval of April 14th minutes.
I move to approve the town board meeting minutes from April 14th, 2025.
Do we have a second? Second. Any discussion?
John, did you get a chance to talk with correspondence back to the university about the building project?
Yeah, I sent an email to the email address that was in that packet, and I haven't heard back from them.
Anything else? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right. Dorothy.
Okay, at our last plan commission meeting, I don't see, you don't have them on the agenda.
We missed him.
We missed them. But anyways, John, did you get our unapproved minutes?
Yes.
Because that would have had those in there.
Yeah, that was my error that the Sebastian rezone is not on the agenda.
Pardon?
That's my error that the Sebastian rezone is not on the agenda.
His and mine. We both forgot about it.
No. This was for the rezone down on Galvin and 97, AAA in Galvin.
Who's the name on that?
Sebastian.
Sebastian.
Yeah.
And then we
Yeah,
had
that's the one we forgot.
Yeah.
Yep, and then the Wagner was the one that did the
We had to have that one too? Yeah.
No,
Okay.
that's just a zoning permit from CBZ.
Okay, but the board has to approve that, don't they?
Yeah.
Okay. So we don't have to mess with that one then.
that one too.
Sebastian.
Sebastian, you do, yeah.
Yeah.
So they said that,
That was it, and then we we were talking about having the county, somebody from the county come down and explain to the planning commission about the Wagner one. I mean, the fact that the gentleman was adding on 2 dormers and a porch, and it had to go through the house. they can't make our next meeting, so we're thinking probably July. You know, but they will make it down so that we can have some questions and try to talk to the rest of the commissioners. Might be good if we could include another township to come at the same time, so kind of a learning session. But we passed, like I said, we have a recommendation from Sebastian and for the other one.
Do you think that there's an issue if the town board doesn't do the Sebastian one until June, that'll get pushed to July at the county level? Do you think that's a problem for them?
They're right here tonight. They
Oh.
don't know.
It's a problem for me.
That is a problem for you? Okay.
Yes.
Alright.
So, I talked to the CPZ, they said that the options are to, hold a special meeting or push it to June. So if it's a
Mhm.
problem for him, you know, this is my fault, I should've, I had it on my list of things, it was in my folder.
And it was just
I
missed.
just skipped right over
Yeah.
an announcement, so, I would hope that we can have a quick meeting, you know, plan commission voted to approve it.
Mhm.
I think it would be germane under Dorothy's report, if you guys have, well, I suppose you don't have the information from Sebastian, so.
No.
But it would be appropriate to make a motion or to agree, I think we've done this before, to just
Set up a
agree
date.
on a date, there doesn't even have to be a formal motion, but a date.
What's gonna work for everybody to set a date?
And what about the one where we, for board of review, we have to meet and then adjourn?
Oh, yeah, good call. Let me see, when is that?
That would be the same time, 21st of May.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
what time is that?
Let me
I
grab
mean,
it.
because that's only gonna take 30 seconds.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
six PM
Okay.
on the 21st.
So why don't you post an agenda for the town board meeting to follow?
Okay.
Is that agreeable?
Yep.
Okay. Work for you?
So I have to, I guess.
Okay.
Has the county given you a date of when they might look at it?
They review it soon also, so.
They would do it in June.
June 3rd, I think it is.
Yeah, so as long as we get ours done by the 21st, I'll have time to get it on their stuff for June.
Okay.
Works out good because board of review, that, and then I have waste management at 7.
Okay,
So that works.
it's gonna be busy.
Yeah.
All right, for highway. We have a list of roads, but we'll get into that when we get down a little further. But at this point, Tom Hardinger is out inspecting all of the culverts that we had turned into the county. And they're listing the critical ones that we need to get taken care of. And he said there'll probably be more than what we realize.
Yeah.
And he said the reason for that is they're trying to get this extra funding, so they wanna make it look more critical if they can, to get 80% of funding on these big culverts instead of 50%. So that's kind of what he's gonna be finishing up, I think he said this week, and then he'll send me an email on all of them that we really need to look at.
So
So,
that'd be an
80-20,
80-20
yeah,
share on anything larger than
6 feet, 6 to 20 feet,
with.
yeah. And he said, Deb, some of these, I said, I'll finish that, didn't quite qualify. But he's leaving them all in,
Okay.
so he said it's inches that you're looking at, so. And it might be a situation where maybe we could put in a little bit of.
one too, on McMillan, just to the west of the bridge.
Well, that'll make up for one that,
He added that one in.
okay, so that'll work then. And Kurt has been busy grading, filling potholes. What else you been doing? Fixing equipment.
Just picks up the bulk of the time.
There you go. So as far as your road, if it hasn't been graded or the potholes haven't been filled, we will get there.
Scott's done.
Huh?
Scott got done, finished today.
Yeah, did you finish up Elm?
All I had was the tractor, so I just took one bucket up there, filled in the wash, and then a few of the spots. But
Okay.
they're not gonna hold
Well, no,
the potholes. I mean, I filled the big craters and,
yeah.
I mean,
Well, you got the major ones.
yes.
Okay. All right. All right, Mr. Rod, library.
John, did you get the newsletter from the library? Okay. I guess the only thing I can say is, I guess everybody look on our website for the newsletter from the library. It has a list of everything that's going on this summer, so.
Buildings and,
I had a question for Raj. So did we just pay our first installment that we owed to the library then, based off the bill?
Yeah,
yeah,
Was that first one?
we only have what, 2 payments to them?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Nicole, you're up. Buildings
So,
and grounds.
buildings and grounds, as you can see, when you probably pulled in, the Ball Diamond is rented 4 nights a week now, so it's pretty busy. It's Monday through Thursday, so that's a good thing. Kids are staying out of trouble, they're doing a good job. We also started filling the holes in the ground in the outfield that needed to be filled. We ran out of dirt, so that is still being worked on out there, so more to come on that. There are a lot of rentals coming up. I don't know of any weddings this year, but a lot of graduation parties. So you'll see the pavilion rented quite a bit. We do have plans of staining the picnic tables, so they will be in and out, so that needs to be done as well. Outside of that, we're also going to be tilling the playground with the sand when one of the college kids comes home, and that's what his primary job will be throughout the summer as well. And then we will also be doing new mulch around all the trees and the areas that have it. So we're pretty busy.
I take the volleyball court too, right?
And the volleyball court too, yeah. Which we may need a new volleyball net. I saw it was starting to sag, so I was gonna look at that closer.
The saggy's just tightening up the cable. But if there's tore spots, then
Yeah,
it's the.
I didn't look at it that close. I just saw it.
I know it's been patched before
Yeah.
from wind damage, so.
That's all I have.
Okay. Dave, recycling and garbage.
Like I alluded to, the 21st of Northwest Recycling is going to meet. We usually meet out in the town of Cameron. I've gotten a rash of, or John has got a rash of cart replacements. I don't know what's, well, they're supposed to, what,
They're getting
5 years old. And I don't know if they got new drivers or what, but everything, the wheels falling off or getting smashed to collapsing, so. Anybody have any problems with carts? Dave?
Mine, the wheels are like part of the whatever kind of cracked up, but I know that in the last few months, it seems like they've been running over the
I think they're, and I'll find out, maybe they got a new driver, I don't know. I did see them the other day, there was maybe they were training on a new one, because there's 2 guys in the truck, so. That's all I have.
Do you know, is there an option for some sort of a rubber wheel? I got a bit of a long driveway, so just,
Ours
are they out there? Do they exist, you know?
I don't think they're gonna offer that.
Okay.
We have 2 years left in the contract. So, for those that don't know, we're with the other townships surrounding the city of Marshfield. And so, by fall, I believe the chair, I think Al Bry's the chair from the town of Marshfield, and we're gonna start negotiating, and I don't, at this point in time, I think it's only, waste management is the only game in town. I know there was one up at Spencer, which is the pea green one, and did you, Mr. Berman, did you, who else do we have?
Harders,
And where are they out of?
I believe Wausau, that's who we utilize.
Okay, that's a good one, because
Are you over on 34?
Could be, I don't know.
Right past Molten over there.
and I want to say that
That's
one,
GFL.
That's the
Yeah,
one.
GFL is one
They're
of,
open
and,
meeting.
and somebody said that they're just a subsidiary of Waste Management, so I don't know any of this. So I'm conjecture. I'm sorry.
Hardest cost is a lot more favorable than everybody else that we've seen.
Okay,
Right.
thank you. Harder sanitation or waste?
I'll send Deb the contact.
Okay, great, thanks.
Sounds good. All right, Carolyn, policies and, Dave, you didn't have anything else to do, or did you?
No.
Okay, Carolyn?
Yes, well, Donna and I are working on, and we're breaking down all of the policies and procedures. We hope to have some ready to bring to the next meeting. We're not gonna be able to get through all of them, but some of the new ones next meeting.
Okay. Newsletter, well, we don't have anything coming out on that. Nicole, ordinances, anything? Nope. Fire department, Lori? Adam?
All right. From April 12th to May 9th, we've had 2 EMS calls, 1 mutual aid call. At the fire department, we held a special election on April 29th for the open fire chief's position. Lori Bauer won by unanimous vote. I've updated our Mavis cards to add initial aid response from the Spencer and Hewitt Fire Department, so I do have a written confirmation that they are willing to help us out for a short time for coverage. The department needs approval from the board to start replacement / repair of the dry hydrant by the pond. Estimated. The estimate was given to the department by Clues Construction of $3,700. We do have the money set aside in our budget for the replacement. We did receive a $500 donation from the Hub City Wind Farm project on the International Firefighters Day, which it was on the 4th. And we have a new probationary member, Dave Berg. EMS, Allison, passed her emergency medical responder test. And for the fundraiser, our fall fish raffle tickets are out to the members of the department and available for sale to the community.
I would also apply for another grant through Natella Staffs for Giving Back to Department Grant 2025. It's a $5,000 grant that we applied for. I did get confirmation that they'll be starting to review them, and we would know before July 31st if we get that $5,000.
Any questions?
And what needs to be?
The dry hydrant.
Dry hydrant, yeah.
It's cracked. It's cracked. We're sucking sand and dirt.
So it's dropped off probably underneath.
Probably. And Jamie Close was a recommendation from the Stratford Fire Department because they have dealt with him in doing dry hydrant replacements.
That's all budgeted though, if you guys have that in budget anyway.
We just need approval to start the process so I can call him and get the date going and get everything.
Say any motion on that?
Yes, because it's over $1,000 that we're gonna be spending.
So we need a motion to approve the fire hydrant.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
All right. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, notification correspondence.
Yes. See, I submitted our ARPA report. We still have to report that to the federal government, but we've reported that we've spent all the money, but we still have to fulfill the reports annually. I submitted our Form CT, renewed our SAM.gov registration. We received 3 open records requests and responded to 3 open records requests. I began the liquor license renewal process. I received an email from a resident in opposition to wind turbines in McMillan because of the high population of homes in the town. On April 29th, the Wisconsin Department of Revenue reached out to me to encourage me to provide more information for the 3 innovation planning grants, specifically for quotes to consultants.
Lovely.
Yeah, so that was 48 hours, less than 48 hours before the deadline of the grant closing. So I communicated, I justified my position of not sending the grants. I said, you know, this is my plan, we're gonna go for quotes and yada yada. And then that was that. Another representative from the Department of Revenue called me on May 7th. His name was Jim. And he told me that if I can get the quotes to them, the Department of Revenue, by next week, so, in the next couple of days, that they would, he would attach them to our submission.
Okay, who you got in mind?
So I found 3 people. It was McMillan and Associates. There's 2 in Wisconsin and 1 in Pennsylvania. I sent out a request for quotes to all 3 of those places. It sounds like they're all, I think I got 2 confirmations that they were gonna respond by tomorrow. I had quite a quick turnaround. I wasn't holding my breath, but I thought, well, if they're practical, it feels like they're begging to give us the money. So I thought, well, this is a good sign. We can kind of do some of this work ahead of time and kind of accelerate the schedule. So I haven't gotten anything yet. I think that I'm gonna get at least 2. Hopefully they're competitive. I think I mentioned this last time, like I sent it to you in an email when I submitted them. I was intending to submit 1 grant request, but it had to go into 3. So hopefully I have the dollar amounts right. I don't know if they're able to increase the dollar amounts of the submission this late, but we'll see. I think we have a good shot at everything working out well. So
Excuse me, at one place in Marshfield that did our ordinances, would they do that type of work, do you know? I can't remember the name of the company. MSA. I wonder if they would do that type of work?
And we're not committing at all. This is just
getting a quote.
Just a quote to give to the Department of Revenue. And then once, if and when we get the grants, then we can, redo this process or, seek other additional quotes. So, I had these couple I had identified when I reviewed other municipalities that were asking for grant money for this grant, and they had identified the McMillan and Associates as one that stands out. The other one, the one that's in Pennsylvania, I think is specifically for public safety. They're just like a public safety consultant firm, so that was pretty neat. So
go from there.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. So I'll keep you up to date on that. We received, 2 zoning permits, one on Galvin and one on Hadmar. That's the one, the Hadmar one is the one that was up there. One sanitary permit was issued on Galvin and one new address was issued on Galvin. The last thing that I want to talk about is should we do anything with the highway person's cell phone? It's currently just sitting in the clerk's office. It's a dumb phone. It costs probably $20 a month. So I don't see a whole lot of risk of just terminating that line, and if we need it, go and get another line.
That would be my suggestion. Everybody's got their own cell phones. If we want to compensate.
Yeah.
Is it the one in the office there?
It's a flip phone, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna use it anyway.
Okay, and I will contact.
Get rid of that?
I don't think so.
Okay, then just eliminate it.
Okay. That's the end of the notifications and correspondence.
Okay, so then we're into checks to approve.
I move to approve checks 20680 to 206716, and then 250401 through 250411.
You wanna repeat that? You lost me.
Checks number 20680 to 20716,
That wasn't what you said the first time.
and then 250401 to 50411.
Can I get a second? Any discussion?
What do we, go ahead.
What is the Department of Plant and Ag Science, $2,200?
So the research farm, right, was going to rent the pavilion. They were gonna have a party or something, and then they decided they were gonna stay at the Cavadini's farm and have a party at their barn, and so they canceled this one. And this was a while ago. The guy that originally reserved it, left, and then we were working with this other guy, and he wasn't responding. Like,
Yeah.
A lot of cat and mouse.
Yeah, and there was no contract signed or anything. It was like, here's the money, but they never signed a
Yeah.
contract or anything.
I was to the point, you know, I mean, I had 4 outgoing emails to him, and 0 responses, so I was at the point where I'm like, well, I've done as much as I can, I'll wait until you say, hey, you know, let's revisit this thing, but. So finally, he just like emerged, maybe he was on vacation or something for a month, and he came back.
Yeah.
So, but these are checks for?
Yeah, so it's a refund of the deposit and the rental fee,
Oh,
because he didn't. do the rest.
Okay.
Because they didn't go through with that.
Yeah.
Fabric cab out of Wausau?
Yeah, that is, Raider Blades.
Raider blades
Okay.
and bolts.
And then Hillers in Marshall?
That's the tent rental for office.
Okay, and then mobile medical, on the slip it says so much from fundraising, do we need to transfer that money? Are we transferring 11, 18,
It comes out of the fundraising budget, and the rest of it comes out of EMS equipment budget, because that's how we had.
Mm.
It's just two different, okay, it's
Two
not,
different accounts.
it doesn't mean you want the money out of the fundraising account,
Let me.
Fall Fest fundraising. That's 2070.
That's for the stair chair, John.
Yeah,
Yeah, so did we move that last month? Because that's when you guys,
I thought they put that in checking, didn't they? Because they-
I don't
they're
think
part of
that,
it.
I never heard of
207 what?
no, so it was
Was that
announced,
also-
it was announced, so we don't need to move the cash, the cash never got moved from the checking into the Fall Fest savings.
Oh, so it stayed there
Yeah,
anyway?
it
stayed there.
Oh, gotcha,
So that'll work out just fine.
okay. Thank you. Signing for
Any other questions?
So Quest Engineering, we signed them and now we gave them 2,400 bucks. What was that for?
And they started with the DNR permits and all that good stuff?
Okay.
Okay, they did some preliminary work, is what it's
We're
coming
starting
to.
over us.
Yeah, they did start over there. They said they were gonna start May 1st, I think it was, so.
DNR, first,
Oh, that reminds me, this is, I probably should put this in my correspondence. I reached out to Earth Inc. to see when they were gonna work on the silk fence. They said that that's on their radar, they're waiting for stuff to green up a little bit or something like that, so I would imagine probably by the time we meet again, well, the next regular board meeting, I'm kind of expecting it to be up,
Come on.
but it should be cleaned up pretty soon.
Yeah, he said he would try to make it early summer, so
Okay.
hopefully. I suppose it depends how much water they gotta throw around in the ditches too,
Yeah.
so.
Well, the
I also-
vegetation means to be 75% established before we can pull it.
Yeah. I also contacted Earth because they're gonna be changing the culverts next month on Elden. And, the county contacted me, I contacted Earth to let them know that's coming up, so they'll probably end up shutting down, because they can't come south. So, as soon as I get a confirmed date, I'll let them know.
okay.
You brought up Earth, it all done. All right, any other questions for checking? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right. Bank rec, or is there anything on the budget anybody want to look at?
Yeah, I do have a question on the last page, 58100 principal. When you look at line item 58112 FE principal, why is there $79,000 put in there?
Repeat the numbers, please.
That's our debt service.
Debt
It's
service,
probably error that I put it in the FD instead of highway.
Wrong line.
when I have a question about bills that we're receiving from Mississippi Welding for acetylene tanks. The fire department is being charged the rental of those, and those are highway department.
Okay, well, I'll let John know. how you
So, Mississippi Welding says that the highway department needs to call and create that one account, otherwise they're gonna stop renting the acetylene tanks. This one needs to be credited back to the fire department. And here's the one that I currently got in the mail.
Has it been wrong? For
Yes.
how long?
I don't know how long this has been going on, I just caught it today when I got that bill, and I looked into the last bill we had from Mississippi Welding.
can set up an account with them, John.
Sure.
For highway. So we'll have two accounts there, one for fire department, one for highway. Everybody agreeable to that?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else? All right. Bank rec.
It's in front of you, and I don't have anything to talk about except the fall fest. Anybody have any questions for me?
The money that was put into the highway funds, that $591,000, that should have been put into the tax savings account, because that's in our budget.
I think it went, but we have to look at the motion from last time.
The motion was to put it into the highway funds.
Yeah. So now you want it in what?
That should be in the tax savings account, because that money was already figured into our budget.
I don't know.
Yeah, first page.
So I do have a question about the CD for the fire department vehicle aid replacement fund. Where are we at with that? Have we come up with a CD to put the money in, and where is the money sitting right now?
Money right now is in the regular checking account, and when I did my checking on, CDs are not good, business CDs are not good. Personal CDs are nice for something, but business ones are not. The best thing that they would offer is put that into a money market, put the whole thing into a money market, you could do a money market instead of your savings, and that would be at 3.5. So just sitting from the house thing.
But that 16,000 has to be set aside for vehicle replacement. It can't go in with the fire department savings money.
I don't know where it came from.
Yeah,
I don't know where it's what-
designated
It's
at
in
the
the
last
checking,
meeting.
is it? Okay.
Yeah.
If it's, I don't know.
Well, it's
what
in the
motion
checking
was.
right now, and you need a motion, in
in
other
the-
words, to put it in a money market account designated for,
If you wish
Vehicle
to,
aid replacement.
that's what you want it for, correct?
Yep.
And what's the dollar amount?
16, I don't have that one. 16, did
It's
you
in
have
the
it?
minutes from here.
Last month, maybe.
$16,235.72.
Got that?
For equipment, for equipment replacement.
For vehicle aid replacement.
We need a motion for that.
You could, if you want to put it into the separate account, but you could put your entire full fest into the money market and make some money off of it. Not just that. You could note that that 16,000 is for that replacement.
That would be up to the fire department if we put the two together.
Okay, you could let me know what you want to do there.
And would you say that's available at 3.5?
3.5.
3.5.
Right. We could do, she could do all of it, they could do all of it. But you'll have to make a decision if you want to do that.
Okay.
Repeat the amount again.
16,235.72.
72 or 17?
72, on page 1 in our meeting minutes from last month.
I don't have it.
Okay, I'll make a motion to transfer
Yeah.
$16,235.72 into our money market
That's
from
designated.
general for the fire
And
department
they'll
for
also-
vehicle aid, and stipulate it is for vehicle aid.
Can we get a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, on your first page of your budget, in the Senate, right here, you got $591,973. That was our grant money that we received. That is already in our budget. If you would like to give it to the highway department, I would gladly take it, but we're gonna be a little bit short on the budget end of it.
I don't know.
Hmm?
Yeah, I don't know how that worked out, that was always in there. I didn't know.
Cleveland doesn't. It came for highway. That's,
It comes to highway, yeah,
well, actually it doesn't, it goes back to the budget. Oh, here.
because it's already in for highway.
Right.
Yeah, it's good website.
But anyway, we need to transfer that out of, I mean, it's not a big deal to go from fire department, or from highway funds to the tax savings account, it's the same interest rate. But we need to, I'll take a 1.1 million for roads, not a problem.
Is all of that in there?
The 591.9, I think you transferred it all, didn't you, John?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's $591,973. That needs to be transferred into the tax savings account.
And we must have thought we were gonna get 610.
Pardon?
We must have thought we were going to get 610, or what's the 610? So 591,973 was our budget,
Right, that's the money that we were working with.
but then January through December, we had 610. So we have a difference of 18,000. So
What else
that's,
did we get? We got it under grants. 43,500. What's the difference on that?
18,663, it's right to the side there.
It's the grant that
Isn't
we
that the
received
fire
from the
department?
fire department, and you've got it on, you just got it state grants.
so we want to
Yeah, that should be someplace else.
to that.
Well, actually, it's a state grant.
It's a funding assistance program through the DHS.
Which is a state agency.
Yes. So I mean, as far as, that was not budgeted in, what we're talking about is the 591,000 that was put into our budget. We got the refund check, and we need to put that back in tax savings account.
And that's fine. I just questioning the difference then.
Yeah, and that's the difference.
I'll move to transfer the 591,973 to the tax savings account.
Okay. Can we get a second?
A second.
Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, do we have anything else for financial report?
Yeah, so I would like to request,
Transfer.
$65,000 from the tax savings into the main checking to pay the bills as presented.
I move to transfer 65,000 from the tax savings account to our checking account.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
I didn't vote, but I meant to say aye. I was writing it at the same time.
Me too.
Can't do two things at once.
Sorry, but aye.
Anything else? Okay, next item. The garage heater quotes.
We got a quote because you requested that they put new, radiant tops on it. And the difference was, original quote was $74.27, and it went to $86.50. $74.27 to $86.50.
And that's through Rigel.
That is through Rigel, correct. Here's a extra copy.
So they have to,
It was requested, the motion was made for the 74.27.
yeah.
And they want to do radiant tops, and that's the difference.
Okay.
Right.
So, you need a motion on that, or?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I'll move that we accept Rigel Plumbing and Heating's quote for $86.50 for the garage replacement
second.
system.
Any discussion?
What was the last, I know we met about this last month, but.
$74.27.
But
Yeah.
we also had one from Steenie that was
Yeah.
what, $94.50, and then we
couldn't
had
read.
another one.
And Steenie's was $95.20.
I'm sorry,
Tri-City was
or 12 something.
$12,800. And then there was one for $15,800.
Yeah, we don't want either one of those last
That's all.
All right,
So what was the difference between Steenie and Rigel, the price?
radiant heat and what's the other one?
Forced air.
Forced air.
Yeah, 95 versus 86.50.
You're talking $900 roughly. Which would be the better of the two?
The radiant for that building, the way we use it.
That was a point of discussion last month.
Yeah, but I just wanna know which would be the better for the two.
Radiant heat, to me, heats what's in there,
Mm-hmm.
where the other is cool air, I mean heated air
Mhm.
going in
Okay, so we have a motion and a
Can
second.
I make a comment?
Sure.
Okay, with the radiant heat, you're right, it heats the objects that are in there. Now, Rod, you can attest to this, even in the shop up here. When we pull the trucks in during the winter, it takes a long time for that snow to melt off. In that back garage, the Freightliner, it never dries out underneath that truck, and that's part of the problem why it's rusting out.
Is the fan still running?
Huh?
Is the fan still running?
The fan is still running, but because of the way the radiant heat works, that air doesn't circulate underneath that truck, and it doesn't dry out, and that's part of the reason why your trucks are rusting out. The floor never dries.
Carl, you're sitting back there. Any comments?
I thought the radiant heat was very inefficient, but I'm not positive.
Radiant heat is more efficient.
Not efficient.
Not efficient.
Not as efficient.
Well, what we did the fire department years back, we
Forced air
forced
to
air to
radiant,
radiant.
because the gas price and the gas usage went down, so, I don't know.
That's our recommendation.
Yeah. Well, we got a motion on the floor, so to accept Rigel's bid of the $86.50 for the radiant heat. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, Balloon Festival, we have a representative here
Yes.
who would like to talk to us.
Thank you. I'm
You
Steve.
bet.
May I handle some
You
questions?
bet.
I'm Steve Waller from We Love Balloon. We're a nonprofit. We're bringing Dairyland Balloon Jubilee. Maps here. Everybody here. Anyhow, we are a nonprofit. Our goal is to raise money for Camp American Legion Lake Tomahawk, along with local nonprofits here in our city. Sorry guys, I have a map of the grounds. We leased out 16 acres grounds of our farm for the weekend there. He is putting 80 acres of grass in for us right now as we speak. We're expecting this to be the biggest balloon rally kind of in the Midwest, or at least in the tri-state area. We're gonna have about 40 balloons coming here. I'm gonna have some walk-in balloons. There will be also tethered balloons. You get a balloon ride where you go up 50 to 100 feet in the air. People love it and so forth. It does cost a lot of money for an event like this on. So we do have about 75 sponsors. We do need to get a liquor license from your community as well.
We approved that already, didn't
We did approve it, but they still have to fill out the application. and-
Right.
Yeah.
And they still have to meet with the fire department to go over the safety plan for this too, that has not been done yet.
Right, we have to have a large event permit. We're dealing with the county on that. With your fire department, we've been kind of back and forth a little bit with Stratford or your locals are going through some turmoil or whatever. So we do have to have that taken care of. We have hired the sheriff's department for security on the grounds for this event.
So can we back up a little bit?
Yes.
Did you meet with Stratford Fire Department on this already?
No.
Is that, okay. I
We
thought that's
talked
what I
to them a
heard.
little bit, and I believe we talked to you or
You
someone.
talked to me a little bit, and then Adam also.
Okay, so we have to have one of you involved in this, obviously.
Okay.
And we can't get the permit from the county until we get one of the organizations on board, basically. any other real questions right now? I mean, my wife used to take care of this. We're having a family emergency right now. My mother's had a stroke.
Oh, my.
So I live in Lake Tomahawk up at Minocqua, so I drove down tonight to kind of fill in, could say.
Now you want to make sure they get the application for the liquor license.
Yeah. Do you
Email
have
it.
contact information or something?
There's a card.
Can we have a card also
Sure.
so we can make arrangements to meet?
Go. And for traffic flow, because we are expecting a large number of people on Highway 97, so if people are going northbound, we get off on, I forget the name of the roads on there,
Stop.
the people going southbound get up and stop, and the people going northbound out of Marshfield will get off on Galvinus, I believe.
Right over here.
Right, and then we're gonna, the entrance of the property will be on the back side on Roman. That's where the main gates will be. So we're trying to keep the people off of Highway 97 for traffic flow. And the sheriff's department's already agreed for this plan we gave them and stuff. Keep the people on the back side, basically. There'll be 4 entrances on the front. One's gonna be for EMS, one will be for balloon pilots, the one will be up for the vendors, and then the rest of the on the back side for the spectators.
So basically it's the same as what it was for Farm Tech Days.
Yeah,
Kind of, right, yes.
That's what they were talking about with the sheriff's department, I believe, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yep, 'cause we can.
The schedule I gave you is it's gonna change a little bit more yet. This doesn't get published. I just want to give you guys some kind of what's going on here and stuff. And in the past, I'm the person who started the Lost Balloon Rally. I ran that for 18 years or whatever. I also started Taste Glow Balloon Rally, did that for 3 years. In regards to the fire department says it's their main fundraiser, believe it or not, that they use. By passing the boot around and stuff. They've lost to take in $3,000 to $5,000 a night. Just by passing the boot around.
Because when I originally spoke to your wife, she said that there was gonna be 2 balloons there, one fire dog and one the sheriff's department dog. And that money raised for those 2 balloons was gonna be split between the 2 departments.
Right, that was quite a while ago, things have changed. We didn't get the funding we wanted to get. We did get a state grant to help advertise this event, it's part of a GEM grant. But those balloons did not, will not be coming, they're from Florida, they're not be coming to this event, we couldn't afford them. But we'll be doing other fundraisers and stuff as well. I know that there's gonna be some food tents there that'll be selling from BFW to American Legion and else.
How many, got any expectation, how many people?
Um,
Traffic, don't know. How much?
I'm gonna say, let's just say 10 to 15,000, it could be more.
Daily?
Right now on their Facebook page, there's, right now on the Balloon Rally's Facebook page, there's at least 18,000 that are interested in coming.
It's hard to say. I ran the Wausau Balloon Rally and I was told there was at 60,000 people there. We started at the Dairyland, or the Tasting Glow Balloon event in the city of Wausau in the States. We had 100,000 people that came there. The last year I was involved in, we actually charged. Turns out we only had 27,000 people there. You would swear there was 200,000. It was so congested. What we actually paid to get in was 27,000 plus another 10 maybe for balloon people and so forth, volunteers. But again, it's the same weekend as your tractor thing here. That's on Friday night, so we're expecting our Friday probably, smaller obviously. Saturday night, that's always our biggest night, so to be a large crowd.
Or you might attract some away from the tractor.
Yes, we didn't know, this date we picked out, I've done this 22 years ago. I did a lot of research. It's always been a good weekend for ballooning for the since 2000. And we're not gonna lose that weekend, any event or any other location in the state, so. And we do have balloons coming from far as away as Georgia and New York this event. And there's spectators coming from all over the country. I know you see it on Facebook. I'd ask everybody to watch our Facebook page and please check it out.
Joe?
Question. And again, balloon events are getting bigger and bigger. How many balloons are you gonna lose because there's a big one in Iowa also the same weekend? You know,
We've been competing against that event for the last,
you know,
20 years. It's not.
the next question I got is, again, your agenda's not out. I'm sure you're gonna have some liftoff someplace or whatever, the ones that normally come out of Northwest. Are you involving other townships to say, hey, you know, we could be lifting off here or whatever?
Balloons are actually aircrafts. We have to be in touch with the FAA and so forth.
Right.
We'll not have a balloon waiver for this, but because you have your zoo and the airport in proximity here, we have the right of way, so we shut them down. So if the wind's going that direction, rather than the balloons lifting off from Sabers Farm, we would actually lift off from over here someplace
Well, that's what I'm
and fly
asking.
into the field.
That's what I'm asking, you know, to the
Right.
Northwest, have you involved the other townships to say, you know, you could have increased traffic, you know, because you're talking to, you know, a township that's, could be affected, you know?
Right, yeah, we'll be communicating with them when it gets closer. We don't know weather until
Right.
that, that week, and to be honest, in the last 22 years of the events going on, I've been in charge of that weekend, the winds go north or south. We don't mean east or west, I mean, it's, things
Yeah.
change out there. That's what happens, so
Yep.
if we have a south wind, it'd be nice, if it brings up this way someplace, we see a lot of nice fields out here.
Yep.
And as far as the wind farm goes, I hope it doesn't happen, so.
Well, it won't be this year.
No.
Not yet, anyway. Does anybody have any questions? Well, thank you for the information.
All right, thank
And
you.
John will get you the license so we can get
All
that
right.
done. All right. Plan commission appointments. Dorothy, did you talk to Russ?
I haven't heard from him. Now, I sent a message to him, and haven't heard anything.
He might be busy too. Well, my appointments for the plan commission will be Russ Coleman'sberger and Ken Clark. I know Casey agreed.
Yep.
So, and I'm guessing Russ will too, and if he doesn't, well then he'll let us know. So. And then call for chip sealing, crack filling, dust control, and culvert replacement. So that's our next little ditty.
You want me to go through them?
Oh, I can, I got a list.
Okay.
So the roads that we're looking at chip sealing to get bids for, John, are Shoyo Creek. Question, is Penny Lane, is that one going to be, I've got on here a 2-year project, Penny Lane, so it wouldn't be chip sealing this year.
No, we need to dig out the soft spots, 2 or 3, cover with wedging
Yeah.
when needed. And that's a determination about who gets bid.
Right.
Whether it's in there or not. That's what the company that I met with, that's what was their suggestion.
For a 2-year project.
Correct.
Okay, so there wouldn't be with any chip sealing on that one this year or Hadamar, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And then the other one was Roman Road. Replaced the east end of that, and then the culvert on to the west.
Yeah, that's gonna be done next month.
Okay, then that's, I don't think is that what Tom is looking at, one of those?
You're talking right down here.
On Roman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the one we went for culvert cost share, that one big one, that they're doing that next month also.
And then revisit it in 26 and complete it.
Okay. But anyway, Deary,
Yep,
Quincy,
yep,
Weeping Willow,
that was on the list.
yeah. We can get bids for all of them.
And Elm Tree.
Roman, Lincoln, Lumen, and Elm Tree. Okay, to get bids for chip sealing for all of them. And then also, let's see, which one was it?
Oh, you also had Marsh.
Marsh, we wanted to get a single layer chip seal put on that.
And do the loop road, what is that, Marsh, what is it, Dave?
Marsh Run
and Marsh Road.
and Clean is the other one there.
Okay.
That goes.
Can we just do that?
We did
Pardon me?
Marsh Road, but they kinda, I think they shorted us on some oil. So we, so we need to actually put a single chip seal on that.
Okay, so, say those ones again? Marsh Run?
Marsh Road,
Marsh Road,
Marsh Run.
And Clean is a little short one, the first one to the left, KLOEHM.
And those are all gonna be a single chip seal. Okay?
And I don't know how
The entire duration.
I don't know how you word it in there, but there's gonna be wedging that's gonna need to be done too on those.
Mhm.
So we can utilize the material that's there instead of a complete rip on it. So some of the wedging needs to be done. I don't know how you put that in a bid. but-
Yeah, me either. I don't even know what to get.
He'll know.
All right, I'll work with Kurt. So these are all for the entire duration of the road, a single layer of chip seal?
No, the first ones are good, you are for, double layer.
Okay, so Shore Creek double.
Yeah,
You're talking wedging on the chip seal ones that you're gonna put a single chip over?
Yes.
Yeah, single chip isn't gonna hold up over wedging. You're gonna have to put double chip if you're wedging.
Okay, then double chip that. Some of the little bit lower spots where some of the wheel ruts need to be filled in before you put the chip seal over the top, so if it needs
Yeah,
to be.
if you're wedging, you gotta put a double chip over it. You're going over the top of base course again.
okay, so for Marsh Road, we can do a single.
Marsh Road, you can
Okay,
do a single.
so Marsh Run and Clay would have to be doubles.
Yeah,
Okay,
because if you're doing wedging on them, a single isn't gonna hold over base course.
right,
It's gonna be gone the first year, you just break it right off.
okay. And then the other one that you wanted, which one was it, St. Joe's? Chip seal over that?
Gotta get some mastic on it in spots first. Yeah.
Okay,
At least the chip seal, the double would be better, you get more life out of it.
okay. I might as well get a quote for, put it for bid for a single and for a double. We'll see what the price comes in at. That don't cost anything.
And these are all for the entire duration of the road? I heard something about the
St.
end.
Joe's?
Well, I heard something about the end, didn't you say something about
Roman.
just a section of
Yeah,
Roman?
Roman is good.
Yeah.
Just a section, the,
Roman would be
How much is it?
1
What's the
mile
one?
to the west
How
from
long?
Galvin.
Yeah, but the bottom is really what needs the attention right now.
The bottom, yeah, well, the bottom that needs to be gravel, basically, until we can do something with it. It's bad, bad. And also, the question I was gonna ask
Base
is,
course,
on the bottom, well, base course gravel, whatever. On the bottom, it would be a double chip seal, on this end I'm talking. Where the blacktop is, would that be just a single over that, and then do a double on the rest of it, correct?
Yeah, you're gonna have some wedging on the rest of it.
Yeah, so, okay, then I'm good.
all of Roman is gonna get bid out on.
From Galvin to E.
Okay, okay.
Because otherwise you're going from stop,
Yeah,
okay?
okay. So
The
I'll,
culvert you were talking about is from this way, the east, from Galvin.
On Roman.
Yep, that one big one down there.
We're gonna get that done before the balloon.
Oh, let's go down there.
Well, we don't wanna be there
Well,
to
they're supposed to do it in June, so
I'm just asking the question.
otherwise the road will be blocked and you'll have
I'm
to
just
walk these
asking the
people in.
question because Roman is
Yeah.
the back door to get into the
Yeah.
property.
Hopefully that culvert will be done, he said in June, so that's what I'm going by. Any other road, Kurt, that you can think of offhand?
Well, then.
Galvin?
Lincoln.
Galvin?
Yep, there's no guarantee you're gonna get a grant to redo it. If you don't. do
I don't even know of any
something,
grants that are out right now. I said, I don't even know if there's any grants out right now, I haven't heard of
My
any.
recommendation on that one is the same thing as St. Joe's, you gotta get somebody that applies mastic, get mastic on some of those really bad spots and the transverse joints that are dropped down and do a double chip over that too. You might get five years or more out of it with a double chip on it. But otherwise, if you don't do anything with it, next year at this time, you're gonna be looking at a road that's worse than Scott.
Well, whoever bids
And I
that,
already put 10 ton of cold mix
whoever
in it.
bids that, whether it's Farner or Scott or whomever,
Mhm.
they're gonna kind of make that determination, right?
Right, yes. So put it up for bids for Galvin.
Okay.
And that would be a double?
Do it single and a double, just like St. Joe's?
No,
No.
Double only.
double on Galvin.
And what about Lincoln?
That needs to be dug out, there's a couple, 2, 3 places.
Is that one that we can work on and then do next year?
Is
Well,
that
the
the one
holes
that's,
in there
is that the one
are-
that's co-owned between us and the city?
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
That's the one that's co-owned between us and the city,
No.
right?
No, it's
Oh.
not
No.
co-owned.
Lincoln is ours all the way to Spencer Street from Man.
Oh, okay, okay.
We would really like all of these bids separately and a full price for everything.
Sure.
Yeah, that way we can.
Pick and choose maybe?
Yeah. You can run it by somebody before you actually check it. Yeah, because,
And then I'll send it
yeah,
out to you
yeah,
guys.
yeah, it's too confusing that way, yeah.
And we also have to put it out for crack filling, and then for crack filling, and that's we got a copy of that.
Yeah.
Dust control, I think there's only one person that does that, that's Kafka, isn't it? Do we wanna go, well, he'll give us the prices of calcium chloride or that magnesium chloride. We'll need,
Put it out to whoever bids, maybe there's somebody else.
yeah, put it out there, you never know, might have a new one. And then culvert replacement bids and quotes, I think I'd like to wait until after we get the report from Tom.
Yeah.
Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
We need a motion to do what we just talked about.
Here, you got a question?
Yes.
I think it was suggested sometime in the past that we consider, as opposed to doing just dust control in front of each residence, that to do the entire road. And I've been looking at what goes on in Eau Plaine. They dust control the whole thing. They have a lot less problem with grading necessity, and they don't have the dust issues that you get.
Well, Glenn told me that you have to put twice as much down when you put it in front of each residence. You can use half as much if you do the whole road, and it actually works better because you're not pushing it down the road. So,
Joe, any experience?
She's spot on.
we should do the whole road, yeah. As you said, you use half of the,
Just down the center.
well, I'm guessing it'd be pretty close to the same because he's talking putting twice as much in front of the residence. Well, that gets pushed down the road is what happens when they grade or whatever the case may be. But he said you can use half as much if you do the whole road.
So when is that planned? I have gotten some
Complaints about dust control?
horrible complaints.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, we're putting it up for bids, so.
But the other thing is we gotta be done grading. Cause you want everything graded prior, I mean, so we're gonna need rain before you can really
Right.
go out and do any decent grading. I mean, right now you can fill potholes or whatever, but
Yeah.
to get some decent grading done, because the last thing you wanna do is put calcium chloride down and then grade the road.
Yeah.
Cause then your calcium chloride's gone.
Yeah. Well, Bruce can push it back and forth.
It's there, it's there.
Chlorides.
But it's not as.
The rain will rejuvenate it,
Yep. And it
If you do the whole
pressure
road.
overnight too. when it
even in
comes
front of the
down.
residents.
Yeah,
Yep.
but you still need the rain, yes,
But
I
you
agree.
still need the blade to
So
roll.
hopefully we'll get some, we'll be able to get some of that done and it'll work. Well, that's what they said, but anyway, you got all that.
Yeah, so I've got, the roads that I've got written down are Shorter Creek, these are all double chip seals. Shorter Creek, Sturry, Quincy, Weeping Willow, Roman, Lincoln from Man to Spencer Street, Lumen, Elm Tree, Marsh Road is a single chip seal. Marsh Run is a double. Clean, St. Joe's as a single and a double, and applying mastic. Galvin, apply mastic, double chip seal. Bid separately and all together.
Yay!
Nice job.
So I'll work with Kurt, maybe Kurt can like give me a little template or something, and we can get this, maybe we can connect on Wednesday and get this, out the door, and then, or at least a draft to circulate to you guys to give any feedback, and then we'll get
Go
it,
from there.
get
When
it
do we want
posted.
to get responses back by? What's
Next
our-
month.
So then they wouldn't be doing dust control until.
We gotta have them graded first.
Gotta get them
Yeah.
graded first, you can only get,
We gotta have rain.
takes
Yeah,
time
okay.
to wait.
Until July, August, maybe.
Yeah.
When I talked to Kafka, John up at Kafka, he said if I get a road ready, 2 miles worth, they can have it in camp in 3 days.
Okay, all right.
Just a phone
But we don't know
call.
if he's the only one in the area right now. Maybe we'll get another one. You never know. You never know. They pop in with, crack filling too, new ones all the time, so see what happens there. So we have a motion on the floor, I believe, from Carolyn.
Mhm.
Did we get a second on that, John?
No.
Okay, I need a second.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, next item is appoint fire chief.
So, I'll make a motion to appoint Lori Bauer as fire chief.
We have a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Roll call vote?
Rod,
I abstain.
Nicole,
Nay?
Dave,
Aye.
Carolyn,
Aye.
Deb.
No.
Really free people.
I guess, why are you voting for no?
Well, from what I can see, our attendance has went down. We've been told on a steady basis, we got about 20. We don't. We don't have that many, especially active people.
You asked for the number on the roster, and you get the number on the roster. And we have sent you the roster multiple times with all the names on them.
I got it once.
You got it twice, because I sent it to you once.
Oh, okay. Well, one guy that you got listed on there happens to be in Red Sea, I think.
He is in the military, we cannot take him off. It is, we need to keep him on there because he left to go to the military, so we have to hold his spot for when he comes back.
I understand that, but he's not active at this point. So for active members, how many do we actually have?
Well, did I send you the other day? I don't remember.
I think there's only maybe 3 on there that aren't active.
I got a roster sheet. I mean, I got a sign-in sheet. That's what I got. So
What
I
did
don't
you,
know who's active, who isn't.
And then I'm pretty sure there's
I
only,
don't have it in front of me, but I
I'm
did.
pretty sure there's only 3 on that roster that, yeah, that aren't active.
I think we heard from some individuals tonight, on and off the fire department, that supported. We have mutual aids with Stratford, Spencer.
We got auto aid too.
Yeah, we have auto aid now, Stratford, Spencer, Hewitt.
Make sure we're covered.
So why didn't you two support the chief, who used to be chief, and Lori?
Because I don't have to, for one thing. I can vote the way I want to vote.
What in your mind doesn't make
I
her
think you'd rather take
capable?
that into closed session.
Okay.
When we go into closed session, we can discuss it then. Oh, lo and behold, we get to go into closed session. That's the next item on the agenda. Closed session, we discussed hiring, what is your name, Dewey?
Real name is Martin Broder.
Okay. Hiring him to help with welding. The board has decided that we would like to do this, but we would like to also have board approval on anything that you want to do, okay? So that we know what's happening. Like they said, the box is too far gone, all right?
The bigger stuff, not if the cutter goes out and it's got a hairline crack and you two wanna get that done before, send it out again and you wanna burn a weld on it or put a patch on it. Not the little stuff, the bigger stuff like the box or the grader's moldboard or something like that.
Or what about the bucket on the tractor or the bucket on the cruiser? That's more or less,
I guess if it's gonna be major dollars into it, then yeah, but if it's just little stuff.
Well, I think the question would be is, can you fix it?
Oh, hell yeah, you can fix it.
That would be the question.
Yeah, it's just more the,
Or is it, if you see that something is beyond fixing, let us know.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need a motion to hire.
I'll make a motion to hire Dewey.
$25 an hour.
Right.
$25 an hour to work on the little, or the truck, or whatever it is we're working on.
Well, whatever needs to be.
Whatever needs to be done.
I got a question, do I just follow Kurt's?
Kind of Kurt's lead, yes. Okay. He'll let you know what.
I don't supervise people.
Oh, give me a break.
you are now.
And I need a second on that motion? Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. You'll have to fill out your paperwork, Dewey, with John. And we need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. You got the checks? Did you pay the checks? Oh, hell no.
You want me to swing by Sunday?
On Wednesdays from 2 to 6.
Your fault?
Okay, yeah, stop down. You want to
You have a check here.
Oh, I do? Oh, yeah. I forgot.
We keep the bottom.
I forgot.
Put it right on top.
Oh, thank you.
On Friday.
I forgot all about it.